In this video, I'm going to show you how to look after a carbon steel plastering trowel. I've been plastering for over 20 years. I've been using carbon steel for most of that time. I'm going to show you exactly how I take care of my trowel. Also, at the end of this video, we're going to talk about soaking your plastering tool in the kitchen sink, keeping your missus happy. So you've probably heard you need to keep your trowel in an oily rag when it's not in use. And other people say, give it a little bit of WD-40 every time you finish using it. Well, let me show you now what I do with my trowel when it's not in use. It's Christmas time now. I've been off for over a week, and here's how I've stored my trowel. It's in my toolbox with my flat brush in there. Bit of a damp environment. There she is. I flip it over like that, you can see it's got surface rust starting to build up on it. It's been in there for over a week now. I'm not panicking, I'm not worried. That's about as bad as it is ever gonna get. So, now I'll show you, when you get a little bit of surface rust on your trowel, the best thing to do. Find yourself a concrete post, the concrete floor, a brick, pretty much anything. Give your trowel a little rub up and down the blade. Give it a rub on the other side. And voila, that is it. That's it. Surface rust gone. I'm giving it a little rub now on the middle of the trowel just to get any rust off the middle of it. Doesn't really make any difference whatsoever. But that's it. Come on, let's nip back inside now. Get your splash brush. Give it a little bit of a wipe off. There you go. Up and down. And all the surface rust's gone and you're good to start skimming. So you can soak it in an oily rag, you can spray it with WD-40, you can do all these weird and wonderful things, but at the end of the day, it just needs a little bit of a rub off and a wipe down and she's ready to start skimming with. Now, we said about soaking your plastering trowel. Let me tell you the best way to clean a trowel. So I've seen all the different things that people have said on Tinternet, on Facebook and different YouTube videos. You can put them in water, you can put bicarbonated soda in there, you can put white vinegar in there, you can do all, you know, all these different concoctions. Just be careful not to blow yourself up, eh? The best way, if I wanted to clean this trowel... Right, now's a good time to give you a little bonus tip. Take your trowel once a week and look down it. I don't know which lens I'm using on the camera here, so you have to just bear with me. You want your trowel curved like that shape. Yeah, so the centre touches the wall first, not the corners. If your trowel starts to curve the other way, or when you don't buy a trowel that's curved the other way, but these sometimes start to go the other way, and these corners will start digging in. Your trowel's losing its shape. Basically, if it starts to do that, it's knackered. It's time to invest in a new trowel and get rid of this one. But whilst you're breaking your new trowel in, to get as much use out of the old one as possible, because you're still going to have to use it for polishing and what have you whilst your new trowel's being bedded in, take your old trowel, to put it back into shape temporarily. It's going to go out of shape again. Genuinely, it's knackered. But to just sort of keep it ticking along whilst your new trowel's wearing in, take your old one, set it on a piece of timber, scaffolding plank or what have you, get a hammer and belt the spine. I mean, you know, give it a good old belt. Hit the spine here. If you can't get, if the curves, if it's going the wrong way further down underneath the handle, you'll have to put something inside, like a little chisel or something, you know, the handle of a chisel, and belt the bar of the chisel there, you know, so to transfer the impact under here. And that will send it back the right way. But it ain't going to last forever. You will need a new trowel. You can sort of limp them along a little bit. Anyway, just thought I'd drop that in there for you. Best way, if I wanted to clean this trowel, I have found, is to soak it in rainwater. I don't know what's in the rainwater. It might be where I live. Maybe I've got acid rain where I live. But if I leave my trowel in rainwater, that comes off flipping wonderful. Now, that being said, I haven't got any inclination to clean this off whatsoever. I mean, the most important bit to keep clean is here. I can't have any build up on the edge of this. So I'm not saying don't clean your trowel ever. I mean, you want to wash it off as you're working away with your splash brush. But see this build up here. Now, you might be looking at that thinking, oh, build up on your trowel. The fact of the matter is, I want that on there. I don't want it too thick where it's going to start picking off, because there's, it's a big clump of the stuff at the end. I've seen some lads like that, and that's no good because you're going to leave crumbs on your wall. But I want a little bit of build up on my trowel, because if this is just polished metal, I find the gear slips off your trowel so much easier, so you end up dropping plaster. Now, I drop hardly any. I can put a sealer on, maybe just drop maybe a teaspoon's worth of plaster in the whole day. I'm not exaggerating. This keeps the gear on your trowel better. If you look at when you get your new handboard, you buy a brand new handboard, this stuff slides off it so easy. As soon as you've got a bit of build up, it's got like something to grip to a little bit. So I don't see any point in taking that off, unless it gets too thick and it's flaking off. Now, the other thing is as well, if I clean my trowel at night to get this lovely and shiny, which I have done, when all this started coming out, when I never cleaned soaked the trowel for years and years, and then when Facebook sort of come about, and I went on a few groups and then seen that there was a fella doing it, I think one fella started this off, I think there was one guy, and he started soaking his trowel, and he started talking about it, and then everybody else started doing it. But let me tell you now, 99% of plasterers don't soak the tools at the weekend. They've got better things to do, like go in the pub or whatever they're doing, but they ain't soaking the tools. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of plasterers, have never seen anybody do it, only a couple of guys on Tinternet. So I don't think it's necessary. I mean, if I get this spotless by soaking it overnight, which I can do, and I have done just to see, I've done it in rainwater by accident, that's how I know about the rainwater, but if I soak this off, what is it going to do? It doesn't make your plastering any faster or neater. I mean, it's this that leaves the edge, and this needs to be smooth, and I wanted a bit of a build up on the bottom of my trowel, just a little bit. It looks nice, so I would say I'm not knocking anybody that does this. If you're one of them guys and you've got OCD, my dad's got an OCD, my brother's got OCD, and if your OCD involves keeping that absolutely mint, shining like a mirror, fine, go and do it. But what I'm trying to tell you now is, for any new guys out there that for some reason feel they've got to bring the trowel in at the weekend and put it in the kitchen sink and soak it overnight to get that looking gorgeous, it's not going to benefit you in any way, shape or form, apart from the fact that when you look at your trowel, it's going to look nice. And that's it. Now, that being said, if you did want to soak something, I highly recommend this. Now, I've brought all my gear out the van because it's going in to have some work done on it. Excuse all the missus's crap. She's fetched in here because it's Christmas time. I've got my whisk buried in down here somewhere. One of the whisks anyway. Here he is. See if I can dig him out. Wait there. Bear with me. Right. If you want to soak anything, I would recommend soaking this. Get this. Get your skimming bucket, one of those there. Fill it full of water and leave that stood. This is what you don't want build up on. Because when this gets build up and it gets knocked, you get crap in your plaster. You get little rocks and stuff. So, I mean, look at that one there that we use for rendering. That's got, by the way, a little side note for you. Flipping, look at that. Base coat for external wall insulation is horrendous for building up. So we have a separate whisk for that. But this, that's attached to a mega mixer. I wouldn't try and mix that stuff with a battery whisk. But this here, if you're anything, I mean, look at this. That's potentially, the lad hasn't cleaned that off properly. That'd end up in my mix. That'd be a pain in the arse. That, if you're going to soak anything, I'd recommend soaking that, and I'd recommend soaking one of your skimming buckets, just to keep them clean. But as far as soaking a trowel, it just ain't necessary. But if your OCD forces you to do it, because you need the back of your trowel to look absolutely gorgeous, just so you feel happy, and fine, crack on and do it. But just know this, if you're a new guy starting out in the game, it's not necessary. I worked with about 300 plasterers on the building sites for a big firm. Never seen one of them do it. I've been doing domestic work for about 15 years, and in all that time, I think I've come across one fella that used to soak his trowel on a weekend, but he was a bit of a weirdo. I think he used to perv on his next door neighbour's cat as well. That being said, I see a few guys do it on the internet. You know, they look gorgeous. It is what it is. It's up to you. But guys, anyway, hope that helps some of you. If you like what I've just told you, give us a little thumbs up. If you think it can help someone else, give it a share. But whatever you choose to do, hey, cheers for watching.